A pair of numbers that have a product of 1 are called reciprocals. For any pair of real numbers a and b, if a times b is equal to 1, then a and b are reciprocals. The product of a pair of reciprocals is 1. Here's a pair of reciprocals, 4 and 1/4. We multiply 4 times 1/4, we get 4/4 in lowest terms. That's 1. That's why 4 and 1/4 are reciprocals, because their product is 1. Here's another pair, 3/4 and 4/3. Multiply them together, we get 12/12. Lowest terms, we get 1. And here's n and 1 over n. N times 1 over n is n over n. And in lowest terms, a number over itself is equal to 1 as long as the number is not 0. So n can be any real number except 0. And here's a over b and b over a. They're reciprocals as well, provided that neither a or b is 0. Because when we multiply, we get a times b over a times b, which in lowest terms is 1. Once again, as long as both a and b are not equal to 0. Here's the property of reciprocals. For any non-zero real number n and 1 over n are reciprocals. 1 times 1 over n is equal to 1. For any non-zero real numbers a and b, a over b and b over a are reciprocals. A over b times b over a is equal to 1. The property of reciprocals is often referred to as the multiplicative inverse property. The reciprocal of a positive number is another positive number. The reciprocal of a negative number is another negative number. 0 has no reciprocal because if it did, the number would be 1 over 0, and division by 0 is undefined. Another way to show why 0 has no reciprocal is because a pair of reciprocals must have a product of 1, and 0 times any number is equal to 0. Most scientific calculators have a reciprocal key. On some models, the key is x to the negative 1 power, and on other models, the key is 1 over x. Let's find the reciprocal of 42. Well, let's think of 42 as n, and we know from an earlier slide that if a number is n, then the reciprocal is 1 over n. So in this case, the number is 42, the reciprocal is 1 over 42. Another way to do it is to rewrite 42 as 42 over 1, and then reverse the numerator and denominator and get 1 over 42. Whichever method you do it, the reciprocal of 42 is 1 over 42. Here's 3/5. The best way to find the reciprocal of 3/5 is to reverse the numerator and denominator and get 5/3. If we think of 3/5 as n and then write it as 1 over n, we now have 1 over 3/5. That's called a complex fraction. It's kind of complicated, but it means 1 divided by 3/5. And dividing by a fraction is the same as multiplying by its reciprocal, so we get 1 times 5/3, or 5/3. It's the same reciprocal as we got the first method, but the first method was a lot quicker than the second method. Let's find the reciprocal of a decimal, 0.75. Well, that's 75/100ths, in lowest terms, 3/4. And now we reverse the numerator and denominator. Our reciprocal is 4/3. Let's try another, a mixed number, 1 7/8. Let's change it to an improper fraction. We go 8 times 1 is 8, plus 7 is 15. We get 15/8. Reverse the numerator and denominator, so the reciprocal of 1 7/8 is 8/15. Here's 2 more. We'll start with 7.5. We'll write it as 7.5. We'll change it to an improper fraction, 15/2. Then we reverse the numerator and denominator. Our reciprocal of 7.5 is 2/15. And finally, a percent, 65%. Percent means hundred, so we have 65/100ths. In lowest terms, 13 over 20. Reverse the numerator and denominator, 20 over 13. And that's the reciprocal of 65%. A pair of numbers that have a product of 1 are called reciprocals. For any pair of real numbers a and b, if a times b is equal to 1, then a and b are reciprocals. The product of a pair of reciprocals is 1. Here's the property of reciprocals. For any non-zero real number n and 1 over n are reciprocals. 1 times 1 over n is equal to 1. For any non-zero real numbers a and b, a over b and b over a are reciprocals. A over b times b over a is equal to 1. And 0 is the only real number that does not have a reciprocal.